Live, and so and before I move forward with developing code, I'm going to see if you can actually hear me. So hopefully by the time that you actually see this, if you're not watching this live, oh great, I will have already trimmed off the beginning of this. So otherwise, if you're live, thank you for your patience while I determine the link. So let me go ahead and bring up my notes really fast. Do this one thing. Okay, cool. Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Quick question. Have you ever needed to look for a job but couldn't really just find the right thing, the one that matched your skills, that matched your salary, maybe that even didn't even show a salary? Perhaps you're a recruiter and you are maybe stressing out about finding the right position, the right person, or maybe it's taking forever to find people who even match maybe 50% of what your job description is. I have been seeing a lot on LinkedIn about the trials and tribulations that both job seekers and recruiters have about finding the right match. I hear things like the market is flooded with software engineers. I hear things like there's a shortage of software engineers. How can there be two things with the same problem, right? Well, that's probably because we don't have a system yet that is a great merge between the two. So I thought, um, you know, it's really it's it's really wise, at least for myself, to create and work on things outside of the day job, right? And if you didn't know, I'm currently looking for a new day job. So if you have some ideas and want to run by me, let me know. But outside of that, I am. Um, I know it's important to work on things that you're passionate about outside of your job that are also leveraging the skills that you are looking to improve upon in your career. And I also know that it's a really great way to collaborate with other people who might have the same ideas or passions that you have. So I decided to do a little experiment with myself and anyone who wants to participate with me. And I'm going to be working on a app that's going to allow for job seekers and recruiters to come together and actually have a better chance of finding somebody quickly that matches what they're looking for and all that. So today, in this video, I'm going to share with you a little bit of behind the scenes. I'm not going to go through everything today because that would just take too long. But I'm going to go through what I call my step one phase. So, in fact, and I just realized I don't have my fancy stuff showing today. So, if you want to see more like this, then you can check out my blog at this website right here. Um, but today, and I changed my technology. So this is why I'm a little kerfuffled. And this is like totally off the cuff. This is not preparing anything like I try and do on my Saturday stuff, all that. So in this video, I am actually going to be covering step one of the process that I've given before on how to think like a software engineer, also known as how to think like a programmer. So quick story, in 2018, I was invited to speak at Cisco Live LATAM, and I spoke on how to think like a software developer. Now, or software, yeah, how to think of software developer, whatever, it doesn't matter. So this is actually the culmination of that original information, the code, all of that, plus some things I learned on the way. Now, why is that important? Because today's video is step one of this process that has not changed for me, which is gather your requirements. So I'm going to be going with over what I'm putting in requirements for this, app that maybe it'll catch and maybe it'll just be this fun little project. But for me, I like to use a product called Miro. If you have never heard of Miro, oh my goodness, check out another article that I did on Miro with some templates and stuff like that. And I have created a planning toolkit using PipDecks, which if you've never heard of those are amazing. I'll share a link at some point. But if you go to this URL right here, you'll learn more about Miro. You'll see some templates that I've offered or that I have on there and like some other stuff. So anyway, we're going to do step one of the planning process. And I use this with Miro. So with Miro, I have a board. I also have it starred, but I have it called planning. This is where I do all my planning, like when I do with lives, whatever. So here I'm going to create my board, and I'm just going to call this remote job sniper. Maybe just remote sniper. I don't know. Um, totally open to ideas for naming of this app that people may use, people may not, but we'll see. So this is going to create a new board for you. And on this, I'm going to actually recreate some of the planning templates that I've built within Cisco for some software development tools that I've made before. And since I didn't make them originally on my own, I have to recreate them. And this is actually going to be part of what I'm providing to my monthly mentorship students. So you're going to get a little sneak peek about this part of it. So the step one, right? So we'll go ahead and put a text here, and we'll say step one, gather requirements. And in fact, let's make a frame. So that way, when we are working on this, I'm going to reset this. There we go. When you click on this, opening up the sidebar, you'll be able to see your different frames here. And so once you rename this, right, you can come here and rename it, whatever. Step one, gather requirements. And you'll notice that it now also relabels it up here. There's some really, really, really cool stuff with Miro, and I really want to talk to you about all that right now, but I'm not going to. So please do check out Miro, academy.miro.com for their certification, which you can put on your LinkedIn. And if you're at Cisco, you can also put that badge in your directory. So just a little tip there. All right, so gathering requirements. I have this as the title, so I'm going to bring this in the center. And this is, you know, all the things that you must have, would like to have, and any potential issues that you might think of that might like be a reason why you can't complete it. So the first thing is your requirements. This is your absolute need to have, right? Then you have your nice to haves, and then your opportunities for growth, or your issues, potential issues, things that you're a little concerned about. So one of the things that you can do is you can take this little circle here and like spread it out. And what this does is it not only centers it, but it also spaces it out in a, I forget the word, but equal spacing, equilateral, sure. And you can move this here. I'm going to again center this. I'll color it later, so I'm not going to make it nice and fancy. But if you want to, you just click on your thing, and this little bar will pop up, and lots of options for you to change how things look. Now, I am going to also make some sticky notes. So requirements, I'm going to make those red because those are must-haves, and this is ginormous. This is ginormous. Okay, so we're going to take this whole thing. Ooh, accept that, and we are gonna make that a wee bit bigger. Oh, it just takes the whole thing. Whatever. Make that small. So I personally like to have them on the long ways because I feel like it can get more text in here. You can change like the size of it and stuff. Do whatever you feel is best for what you need to do. I'm gonna have nice to haves in a different color. So this is, I am not a UX designer. I just know that when you add color, so if you have all reds for requirements, all, let's say, greens for nice to haves and opportunities for growth, I don't know, whatever, then your eye will group those together as like one item. So even if they get all jumbled for whatever reason, then you would, you know, you could visually see that together. So for nice to haves, I'll just make it blue. Yeah, that's fine. And then opportunities for growth, I'll make green. Because green and growth and money and all that, prosperity. Okay. Anyway, so I used, because I didn't want to lose my train of thought, I actually wrote the things down that I was thinking about. You can't see that. About what this would look like for a job seeker standpoint, what it would look like from the recruiter standpoint, and how some of the inner workings might look together. And again, that'll be another video. This is literally just the step one of the how to think like a software engineer process. So requirements of this, right? So we'd have a profile for a job seeker, a profile for a recruiter. We know that there would be a way to connect jobs with seekers via skills, right? Via skills, we'd also want the same for, or at least I was thinking, and this is literally, I have not talked to anybody else. If you have any suggestions, I am absolutely open to discussing more. It looks like we've got some chats. Yes, I am still doing Forex, but not in this one. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate that so much. Yes, color is huge. Absolutely. Hey, Shafiq and Shafiq, I hope I said that correctly. So ways to connect with job seekers, jobs with seekers via title, right? Because sometimes people are looking for titles but may not necessarily have like the particular skills for that particular job. Also, if someone is looking for a particular role, they would be able to see, oh, these are the skills that I need to grow in. So those are two ways that they need to seek or be able to be sought, I guess I should say. I have pairs job skills with job seekers. Oh, a nice to have would be to alert job seekers or recruiters when matched at some percent. Now, I think 50% should be like the baseline, but when you're thinking about when I think about creating software, it's really important to not only think about what your bottom line is as the company, the business, the developer, whatever, but also the experience of the end user. So if someone is using this application, what does it look like for them? If we have recruiters and job seekers, how does the experience help them find a job or find somebody to fill a job? So having an alert, whether it's email, maybe it's text message, maybe if LinkedIn allows it, maybe there's a way to connect with the LinkedIn API so that we can send them a message. Hey, you should connect with here. Here's the link to the post, but whatever, right? Maybe that'd be really cool. I don't know if LinkedIn has that, but alert somehow, that would be nice to have if they're matched at a certain percentage. I also have, I feel like remote option, but I'm tossing around the idea of should this app be remote required? Because there are so many people who need to be able to work remote. Maybe they are on disability. Maybe they are definitely afraid of getting sick with everything that's going on these days, right? You never know. But sometimes it's so hard to find those remote roles because sometimes they're going to say, hey, oh, that's the other thing. They're going to say, hey, we want to, I forgot what my literature thought actually, but maybe it'll come back to me. But another requirement that I had on here was like a star system. So like a ranking for recruiters. Because then if somebody is unethical in what they've put in their post, whether it be salary range or it's remote, but it's not really remote, maybe somebody got hired and the company that the recruiter was hiring for, changed up the rules and decided to say, oh, you're gonna have to come in like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days a week, right? Maybe you could have, maybe this is, I guess it's really nice to have now that I think about it. It's not a requirement. It's not an MVP, a minimum viable product to do it that way. So we have that star ranking system for recruiter, but not, I don't really think that that it should be for necessarily the job seeker, but I would love to know what you guys think because honestly, I don't see the benefit in ranking the job seeker because in theory, they're going to find a job they fall in love with and they never want to leave the company, right? Um, that's what the ultimate goal is for companies is to have people who want to stay there forever because it's just an awesome environment and they're happy with what they're doing. On the flip side, I can see the positive of having a ranking system for the job seekers. So maybe they are notorious for being late. Maybe, I don't know. But on the same idea, doing it that way, then it could also leave a negative footprint for them in the future. Maybe they just were having a bad time of things. So I think for this, and again, I'm open to discussing with actual recruiters and other job seekers, but I think for this, just for ranking of the recruiter, maybe also um, the company that they're hiring for, right? So a few nice to haves on that. Um, I've already started like outlining what the profiles would look like for a job seeker versus recruiter. I'm not going to go in that today, but I do have that. So requirements, we would need to have, I already have that on there. That's okay. Sorry, I hope that wasn't too loud in your ear. Opportunities for growth. So the things that we might think are problems or things that we're not sure about. So how to send um, alerts, how to authenticate, which I'm thinking authentication through LinkedIn. That's it. Because then you're using the authentication resources through LinkedIn, and you, as the app developer, are not keeping any emails or anything like that. So that way you're not potentially being affected by GDPR, which, if you don't know what that is, in digital marketing world, it stands, I don't know what it stands for, but basically it's something that went into law in Europe. Yeah, European, yeah. And basically that's in relation to security of information, emails, things like that. And so that's a whole thing that if you're a developer, you probably want to know nothing about that. Please do speak to a legal person, marketing, make sure that they know what they're talking about. But anyway, you don't want to deal with that. So how to authenticate may be only through LinkedIn. Opportunities for growth on this. Marketing, is it even valuable, right? Is this going to be worth someone's time to put in? And for me, again, like I said earlier, this is something that I just thought of today. I don't know if I'm going to go through and work on this fully, but I'm open to collaboration or just doing it myself because this is an interesting little project anyway. Opportunities for growth, maybe I don't know, other things you could just add here. So I'm not going to go through things just to take up your time. Okay. Yeah. So those were basically the things that I was thinking of for requirements, nice to haves, opportunities for growth. There may be more as I kind of scope this out. But as I said earlier, I decided to do this just to kind of give you a little bit of a preview of what it might look like when you're creating software, what it might look like if you're looking to hire somebody to help kind of navigate some of the things that you're working on, and kind of give some insight. So if this is something that you think is interesting, if you want to learn more about how I do code or how I approach things, how I've used this to run several workshops to support teams that I have led, then definitely let me know. But this is something that I'm really passionate about. I'm really passionate about helping people to, first of all, make things easy for tech by breaking it down into bite-sized pieces, whether it's digital marketing or programming. But I also really enjoy making things easier, more streamlined, because with all the tools that are coming out, ChatGPT, GitHub's Copilot, which uses ChatGPT to some, I think I'll, well, yeah. All these things, AI, all these things that are making our lives easier and more streamlined. In the process, we have to also learn about it for ourselves, so that way we are, if not ahead of the curve, at least preparing ourselves for the coming future. So I'm just sharing things that I've learned that have helped me along the way. And if you want to learn more, feel free to follow me on any platform that you are on at prosperousheart.com. And as I showed earlier, you can check me out on my blog. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, maybe. And if you want to participate in this project and actually see it to fruition so that recruiters and job seekers can have an app that actually helps them find each other a little bit easier, then let me know. I would love to discuss further about this and how to set up all the, not how to set up all the things, but like discuss maybe best ways to set up the project across the board. So that's another video I'll be doing on this at some time soon. So stay tuned. Hope you have a wonderful and prosperous rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.